Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Operation Branchform has been running for 3 long years, and other than a little flurry of activity a year ago, not much has happened. And now the original complainant, Sean Clarkin, demands that police make a statement to show how far they've got, what proceedings they're looking to make, what evidence they've gathered, the people they've talked to, and whether or not they're even bothering at the moment to investigate. There are rumours swirling that actually there is no active investigation at all, and that police are simply marking time, waiting and hoping for someone senior to say, right, that's enough lads, it's been a long time, it's spent a lot of money, nothing's going to come of it, let's just let them get away with it. And if that happens, of course, that would mean the police would be complicit in the fraudulent theft of over £600,000. Regardless of cost, it must be investigated. Now, of course, the police are more or less owned by the SNP. The justice system is owned by the SNP. So one can see why the active investigation is taking so long. They don't really want to have to go and arrest Nippy, Murrell and Beattie, amongst others. Try them, convict them and put them in jail. Because that's not what they received all that money and funding for, is it? That wasn't the backhanders in envelopes. That wasn't all the criminality that's been going on as the SNP controls this force. They owe them. They own them. And it's time to pay up. Let's have a look. So, Operation Branchform. Police must issue update on state of probe into SNP finances 3 years on. Sean Clarkin made the initial complaint in March 2021, but the investigation into the £660,000 raised to fight an independence referendum shows no signs of concluding. Well, it won't when you've got policemen not wanting to conclude it. They don't want really this whole operation to actually happen. They've been informed by their political paymasters that nobody should ever be prosecuted for the theft of this money. It needs to just be quietly swept aside. Let's not stop to embarrass the SNP. And yet here they are. This is one of those wonderful examples of the victims of this are the SNP supporters themselves. People willingly put money into the party for the referendum and then watched as the party stole that money, didn't spend it on the referendum that they were told it was going to, and instead frivolously spent it on little camper vans and £500 pens so that Nicola Sturgeon could live the life of luxury. Nice little £100,000 Jaguar for Peter. That's nice. He likes that. He's deserved that. He's worked hard to get that money. Well, I say worked hard. He's written a cheque from one account to his own account or something. I don't know what the details are. But certainly it was simply a little bit of what it seems like anyway is embezzlement, allegedly. But hey, if you're an SNP supporter, I'm sure you don't mind having your money stolen by the party you claim to support. A party that is obviously treating you with contempt. And of course, having known the police under Livingston, it didn't take them long to own the police under Farrell. Just over a week, I believe. It was a week before she started stealing resources. And at that moment, they could have asked for her title. They could have asked for her job. They could have fired her. Instead, they own her. It's easy, isn't it? It's easy to own a policeman when the policeman is corrupt. And so that's what they've got. They own the police, and we know for a long time now they've owned the judiciary. So don't expect much to be happening on that front. Oh, I don't think we should be investigating this matter, says the minister of the government that's being investigated. Corrupt as hell, isn't it? Police Scotland should issue a statement on Operation Branchform, according to the man whose complaint triggered the probe into the SNP finances in the first place. He being an SNP supporter, of course. This month marks 3 years since Sean Clarkin first raised concerns with officers about alleged fraud relating to money raised for an independence referendum. And we've gone through the whole thing of the arrests there that it's just mentioning. The cost of the operation is now over 1.3 million. Don't care, as long as it ends up with those people in jail, it's worth every penny. Mr Clarkin says the Chief Constable Joe Farrell should provide an update when she addresses the board of the Scottish Police Authority in Edinburgh next Thursday. Speaking to the Sunday Herald, he said, "We need to know which way the case is going and whether it's going to proceed to prosecution or not." 3 years is long enough. I think she's a duty to inform the Scottish public about the full range and depth of what exactly is being explored, because at the end of the day, it's taxpayers paying for this. She won't want to do that. Obviously won't want to do that because her paymasters don't want her to do it. But she'll be told not to do it as well. She'll be told, look, if you do this, if you proceed with this, we're going to have to question that theft of resources and you're going to lose your job and then we'll prosecute you for that. And so they own her, right? Under the thumb. They've got a bang to rights. First week, bang, had to steal resources. And that's it. What she should have done, of course, is offer to pay it back immediately and then resign. And that way, the police wouldn't be a branch of the SNP, the Stutstaffel, if you will, the SS, the Mac SS. The cost is now standing at 1.3 million, and for transparency and full accountability, there has to be a complete and comprehensive explanation of where Operation Branchform is and where it will go, and what timelines are for making decisions. He said, we live in a democracy and there has to be accountability. Chief Constable Farrell's predecessor, Ian Livingston, gave an update on Branchform in an interview last summer, and it extended its scope to consider potential embezzlement and misuse of funds. Well, we don't think it's anything other. Of course it's embezzlement. Of course it's misuse of funds. It's clear. Let's just take these people to court. If you've got names on pieces of paper, they're the ones responsible. Jail them. Clarkin lodged his initial complaint on March the 26th at the 2021 at the Barhead Police Station, where he claimed £660,000 raised to fight IndyRef 2 had been spent on other things. A formal investigation was launched in July 2021. Sturgeon and Murrell's house, along with the SNP HQ, was raided by cops in April last year when Murrell and Beattie were arrested. Sturgeon was later arrested in June. Since then, silence. Nothing. Nobody. Because nobody wants this to happen. They're all scared. All the police are scared of what the SNP will do to them. Officers seized a variety of paperwork and other items, including a camper van bought by a party to fight the 2021 Scottish election. It emerged this week that senior SNP members want it back to help with their general election push. What they mean is to sell it because they haven't got a pot to piss in. They are absolutely bankrupt. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we beat them. Tactical voting. One election only, vote them out, and they've gone. They don't have the money. They've got so many debts, and they're unpayable. And it only takes one person owed money to take them to court, and bang, they are straight into administration, finished as a party. Clarkin was backed by the former Health Secretary Alex Neil, who said, I realise that she can't go into detail, but I think she should, being Joe Farrell, give some indication of when it is likely that this inquiry will be completed one way or the other, because there's a real danger the police and the Crown Office will start to lose credibility if they don't do something or make a decision soon about where this is going. The only decision that's going to be made is that they'll drop it, because, it's not going anywhere, it's cost too much, blah, 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 not in the public interest and all that. It is very much in the public interest. We don't want crooks and thieves and charlatans running the country. Coming up. We cannot allow the police to drop this, and we cannot allow their political paymasters to force them to drop this. This case must run to a conclusion, and it must come with charges at the end, because the crime has happened. Somebody needs to go to court. 3 of them, all 3 of them, charge them independently, throw them into court, and let a jury decide whether these crooks are guilty of embezzlement, of fraud, of thievery, or of just generally being who they are. Because they're not, they are just all crook, aren't they? Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very much for watching. Do please hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video, and I'll speak to you later. Bye.